Daf Yomi, Tractate Chullin, page 7a. We are in the middle of a very interesting story about Hezekiah and how he broke in pieces the copper serpent that Moses made. Let's start at the bottom of 6b for context. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi interpreted this first to them, and he broke in pieces the copper serpent that Moses had made. For until those days the children of Israel burned incense to it, and was called Nehushtan. 2 Kings 18 verse 4. Is it possible that they burned incense to it, and Asa, a righteous king, came and did not eradicate it, and Yehoshua, a righteous king, came and did not eradicate it, and it remained until the time of Hezekiah? But didn't Asa and Yehoshua eradicate all objects of idol worship in the world? Okay, that was where we left off yesterday. And now we're turning to the top of 7a, our daily daf, and side A. On the top where it says Ela Makom. Ela Makom hanichu lo avosav Lizgader bo afanim makom. Hinichu li avosav lizgader bo. Rather, it must be that in not eradicating the serpent, his ancestors left Hezekiah room through which to achieve prominence, the hitgader, prominence. I too can say that my ancestors left me room through which to achieve prominence by permitting untithed produce from Beit She'an. Mikan, litamid chacham she'amar levar halacha she'ein mezichin oto ve'omri lah, ein maznichin oto ve'omri lah, ein mazchichin oto. The Gemara adds, from here one learns, with regard to a Torah scholar who states a new matter of halacha, that one does not move him from his position. Some say one does not disregard him, and some say one does not attribute his innovative statement to his conceit. Man diaman mazichin ki dichtiv velo yizach hachoshen, uman diaman ein maznichin dichtiv ki lo yiznach leolam Adonai, uman diaman mazchichin detnan mishirabu zichuche halev rabu machlokot b'Yisrael. The Gemara explains, with regard to the one who says mazichin, there are three words that sound similar and they mean different things. And it's mazichin, maznichin, and mazchichin. And two of them had scriptural proof, and one had a Mishnaic proof. So let's see. The Gemara explains, with regard to the one who says mazichin, it is as is written, and the breastplate shall not be loosed from the ephod. Exodus 20:28. That's mazichin. And with regard to the one who says one does not disregard, it is as written, for the Lord will not abandon forever. Ki lo yiznach le'olam Hashem. For the Lord will not abandon forever. Lamentations 3:31. And with regard to the one who says mazchichin, it is as we learned in a Braita in Tosefta Sota 14:9. From the time that those with conceited hearts proliferated, dispute proliferated among the Jewish people. Baskula Yehuda bered Rav Shimon ben Pazi mi kanaman de Oman de Beis She'an be'eretz Yisraeli v'haketiv v'lo yehoirish minashes Beis She'an v'etz benoiseha v'etz ta'anach v'etz benoiseha. Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, objects to the basic halacha. And is there anyone who says that Beit She'an is not part of Eretz Yisrael? But isn't it written, and Menashe did not drive out the inhabitants of Beit She'an or its towns, nor Tanakh and its towns? Judges 1:27. Ishtemite hadiamar b'shimon ben Eliakim Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Pedalos Shiomar Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Shemuam Hare krachim kivushim oile Mitzrayim v'lo kavshum oile Bovel. The Gemara answers that which Rabbi Shimon ben Eliakim says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Pedat, who says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Shemua, escaped the attention of Yehuda. Many cities were conquered by those who ascended from Egypt to Eretz Israel, led by Joshua the son of Nun, and were not conquered by those who ascended from Babylonia to Eretz Israel in the return to Zion, led by Ezra. Among those cities was Beit She'an, because Savar Kedusha Rishoyna Kitcha L'Sha'ata V'lo Kitcha L'Ati Lavo V'nichom K'dei Sh'yislechu Aleim Aniyim B'Shvi'is. And Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi holds the initial consecration with which Eretz Yisrael was sanctified during the era of Joshua, son of Nun, in terms of the obligation to fulfill land-based mitzvot, sanctified Eretz Yisrael for its time, but did not sanctify it forever. Rather, the obligation lapsed with the exile to Babylonia, when those who ascended from Babylonia from Eretz Yisrael and sanctified the land, they left certain places unsanctified so that the poor would rely upon them for sustenance during the sabbatical year, when produce is not plentiful. Since these areas were not sanctified, it is permitted to sow crops there during the sabbatical year. The poor will not go hungry. Once Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi discovered that Beit She'an was one of those cities, he exempted it from land-based mitzvot. Amar le Rabbi Yirmiyah le Rabbi Zera Bihar Rabbi Meir ala Baal Mahu Diachil Amar le Yaguda Chale Utnan Yarak Hanegad Mishe Yeaged. Rabbi Yirmiyah said to Rabbi Zera, how did Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi rely on the testimony of Rabbi Yehoshua ben Zeruz to exempt from trumot and tithes produce that grows in Beit She'an? But wasn't it merely a leaf that Rabbi Meir ate? It is permitted to eat untithed produce incidentally, not in the framework of a meal. Rabbi Zera said to him, he ate the leaf from a bundle, and we learned in the Mishnah in Masarot 1:5 with regard to a vegetable that is typically bound in a bundle, one is obligated to separate truma and tithes from the moment that it is bound. From that point, one may not eat from it even incidentally before tithing. V'dilma labadaite hashta behemtan shel tzadikim en hakadosh baruch hu mevi takala al yadan tzadikim atzman lekol shchein. Rabbi Yirmiyah said to Zera, and perhaps it was not on Rabbi Meir's mind, and his attention was diverted when he ate the leaf. Rabbi Zera answered, now, since even with regard to the animals of the righteous, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not generate mishaps through them, is it not all the more so true that the righteous themselves would not experience mishaps? B'dilma Yisrael mimakom acher lo nechshedu chaverim litrom shelo min hamukaf ודילמה נתן עיניו בצד זה ויכל בצד אחר. אמר לך זימן גברא רבה כמה סעד עליה. Rabbi Yirmiyah asked, and perhaps Rabbi Meir tithed those leaves from produce in another place. Rabbi Zera answered, Chaverim are not suspected of separating truma from produce that is not proximate to the produce for which it is being separated. Rabbi Jeremiah asked, and perhaps Rabbi Meir set his sight on this side of the vegetable, with the intent of separating Shuman tithes, and ate a leaf on the other side. Rabbi Zerah said to him, "See who the great man is who is testifying about Rabbi Meir. Certainly, a man of the stature of Rabbi Yehoshua ben Zeruz accurately observed and reported Rabbi Meir's actions. My behemton shel tzadikim, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, habe koazu lifdion shvuim pagabe beginai nahara." The Gemara asks, what is the reference to animals of the righteous about whom it is stated that God does not generate mishaps through them? It is based on the incident where Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair was going to engage in the redemption of captives, and he encountered the Ginai River. Amar le Ginai chalok li b'mech v'yavor bach. Amar le ata holech lasot retzon konecha, ki ata holech lasot retzon koni, ata safek oseh safek, I ata oseh v'ani v'adai oseh. Amar le im I ata cholek gozrani alecha, shelo yavru b'cha mayim lo'ilam. Chalak le. He said to the river Ginai, "Part your water for me, and I will pass through you." The river said to him, "You are going to perform the will of your maker, and I am going to perform the will of my maker to flow up my path. With regard to you, it is uncertain whether you will perform his will successfully, and it is uncertain whether you will not perform his will unsuccessfully. I will certainly perform his will successfully." Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair said to the river, "If you do not part, I will decree upon you that water will never flow through you." The river parted for him. Haviyahu gavra David diarechi telebischa. Amalech halok le nami lahai de mitzvah sek chalak le. Haviyahu Taya dilava behadayu amale chalok le nami lahai dila lema kach osim lifnei leviyam chalak le. There was a certain man who was carrying wheat for the preparation of matzah for Passover. Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair said to the river, "Part your waters for that person too, as he is engaged in the performance of a mitzvah." The river parted for him. There was a certain Arab who was accompanying them. Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair said to the river, "Part your waters for that person too," so that he will not say, Is that what one does to a person who accompanies him?" The river parted for him. Amar Rav Yosef, Kavan fish kavo mimoshe v'shitin riban di'ilua samchat zimna v'hacha tarata zimnin v'dil ma'acha nami chad zimna elo k'moshe v'shitin riban. Rav Yosef said, "How great is this man, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair, greater than Moses and the 600,000 who left Egypt. As there at the Red Sea, the water is parted one time, and here the water is parted 3 times." The Gemara asks, and perhaps here too, the waters parted one time, and the river began to flow again only after all 3 of them passed. Rather, this man was as great as Moses and the 600,000 children of Israel. After crossing the river, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair happened to come to a certain inn. His hosts cast barley before his donkey for him to eat. The donkey did not eat it. Very interesting. The donkey didn't eat the barley taki. Why? We're going to find out on next Amud.